Welcome to this first look map tour on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. So here I am on New Woodshire. Now, I did a first look map tour on this on FS17 when it was just Woodshire, but it's had a bit of a spring clean. It's now New Woodshire. It's all new and spangly, sparkly, lovely. This is where we start at, say, the main farm. If we look at the map, we are, well, just left of central, I suppose. The map hasn't changed. I say the map hasn't changed. Some of the map hasn't changed very much. As for locations of things, some of it has changed dramatically. So I hope you come along, follow me around, and we'll have a quick look. There is a railroad on this one, so I'm going to probably start off here in the yard, then we'll whiz round the railroad, do the bits around the periphery, and then we'll do a couple of stops in the middle of the map to have a look round. I won't be able to show you everything. There's absolutely no way. The map's a fair size and there's loads to see. And this is by Redkeinstus and RitchiF. And they've done an absolutely bang up job on this one. So we have a look in this one here, which makes life a little bit easier. We start here, and in this farm we have got cows, we've got pigs, and we've got our silo. The silo has got a 380,000 litre capacity, but there are also train silos. There's railroad silo east and railroad silo west. Now again, this is me being pernickety, and but I'm going to point it out because I'm sure someone else will. As far as I'm aware, north, south, east and west. That railroad silo says east and that one says west. It's a minor thing, but I think the names are just the wrong way round. That's all. I thought I'd point it out, I'd say, before anyone else does. So this is where we're going to start out. We're going to have a look around the yard here. What fields do we start with? Well, we start with, let's click on that. We've got a little bit of a farm here. We've just got a horse paddock and our sheep. This is where we're starting off. Now, not all of the fields are numbered. A lot of these little green ones here are grass fields. You can buy them, but they're not numbered. So I'm assuming you're not going to get contracts on those. And there's a few little ones dotted around. I mean, the value of that one's what, 18,000? You can just kind of add them on. Field prices aren't extravagant, but we do start with, I want to get this right, field 2 and field 6. There we go. Field 2 and field 6 are ours. And then we've got these grass fields here, and we've got a little bit around the side of the farm there, and a little bit here, and we've got this little one here. So we've got a few. Field sizes, like I say, aren't massive. The largest field on this map, I'm thinking, is this one here. And that one is only 309,000. So it's not going to break the bank. We have got some forests, which is all very, very exciting. We've got one here, we've got one here, we've got one here, and we've got a little bit of one over here. The good thing about these is, as well, that I like, is the larger one, like this one here, is broken into sections. So you can buy up parts of forest as you go along, or you might only do a little bit of forestry, so need to buy one part. You might just decide, you know what, I want to do a bit, but not go mad. So it means, like that one there, you've got a small little bit of woodland there for 66,000. You can do your bit of forestry without it breaking the bank. So I think that's a really good idea. Anyway, that being said, that's a kind of quick look of overview of the map. So this is where we start. We are facing west. That's north, and this is our farmhouse, which we can come into and we can sleep should we need to, but we're not tired at the moment. So we're good. There is an option for surfing at some point. As we come into the yard here, I like the layout of it. This farm was here on the original one, but it has changed considerably. We've got a barn here with a load of equipment. We'll have a look at the equipment and what we get in just a minute. I do like the fact as well it's surrounded by trees, kind of protecting it from the elements. And this is, I believe, their own creation. I'm not sure. I assume it was them that made it. This is the cow barn, but it's not the in-game one, so it's a slightly different one. Here's where we can directly buy or load and unload our cows from. Inside we've got our feed, water and straw, and outside this is where your milk churns will come. So yeah, slightly different this one, and there's something I want to show you about that in a little while, which is actually pretty cool, I have to say. As we move up the yard, still heading west, we've got our workshop just here. And inside our workshop, we've got a JCB with front loader attachments and various bits and bobs. More barn space, shelters and barns over that side as well. We've got our manure and slurry point for our cows just there. This is our silo, and this is the one that's 380,000 litres. Now I assumed that was a line point, but it doesn't show on the map as a line point, but that is your silo. Now that's the interesting one as well. That's unload, putting it into it. If you want to load a trailer up, unless it just comes out of there as well, that would just be a case of testing it out. So as we move over to this side of our yard, actually we'll go around this way. More shelter space, nice big barns and buildings as well for getting your larger machinery in, which I do like. We've got our pig enclosure, so as we come round, got all the various different points we need for our pigs: water, feed, straw, and for purchasing directly or loading and unloading is just around this side here. So that's pretty much the main farm. I like the fact it's a real mix as well of various different things. We seem to have a small little nursery, tree nursery. It's not an orchard, it's nothing, it's not apples or anything like that. Just it, and that really is it. That's the main farm. What I'm going to do though, from here, we're going to head out this direction, south. We're going to find the train, and I'm going to go round the map. Now what I can already tell immediately, it's night and day from the original version to this one, with the new textures, the new lighting dynamics, with all, you know, it really has got a different, it has got a different feel to it. It really does feel like it's had a real spring clean. So I'm going to find the train. I will see you in a moment, and we'll head around the outside. I'll show you some of the other sell points. There's quite a few of these little kind of placeable areas dotted around all over the place. Oh, actually, before we do move on, we will have a look at what we get equipment wise. If I go to garage, we start with a fast track 4220, a K7250, which I love, brilliant bit of kit, a little Bison Super Z056, Z0, not sure, Stratman SEK802 header for the Bison, little plough, we've got a little cultivator, we've got a little seeder, we have got a fertiliser sprayer, we have got a fertiliser spreader, we've got a mower, we've got a tedder, we've got a windrower, we've got a baler, we've got a small log trailer, the Stepper FHL, we've got a water tank for feeding animals, front loader attachments we've already seen, and a weight. Now we do have, as you've already seen, the pig enclosure. Now that is one of their own ones, I think. That holds 300. We've got a large horse paddock, sheep pasture, and that one says Kustal, I think it is Kustal, and that was what I was going to say. I was going to tell you that says 5,000. Now that is actually the cow barn that we've just seen. If we go into placeables on here, we go to animal pens, when you go across it will tell you there's a little building that's like a beehive at the bottom. We'll say 0 or 1 or however many of them you own. There are no chicken coops. We've got no chicken coops on the map, so if you want chickens you've got to place them yourself. So there's the first cow pasture, and there's the large cow pasture. According to that, 0, 0. We don't have either of those because they're the in-game ones. Horse paddock, we've got a large one. Now when we come to pig enclosures, we haven't got either of those because they've put their own one in. Sheep pasture we do have, but it's a small one. That's a mod, don't worry about that, and so's that. But here we are, large pig enclosure. We've got one of those, that's one of their own ones. And then here it says Kustal. Now that says it will hold 200 cows. It's only 10,000. So that dairy that we've already got, that cow pasture, 10 grand. So if you want to place more of them, that's dirt cheap. Really, really cool. I like that a lot. So yeah, very nice indeed. Actually, we'll go back to, did I get through all the vehicles? Oh there, farm silo, placeable again, not too expensive, and 380,000, but again, see, this is where it goes a little bit haywire every now and again. Looking at the slot counts, the slot count for that farm placeable silo says 67 slots. That's insane, that can't be right. So I'm assuming there'll probably be an update, something will happen. Now with all we've got on the map already, what we start with, we're already 920 slots out of 1299. Doesn't give you a lot of leeway for buying new equipment. So it may well be you'll find you're going to have to sell some bits. There's the farm stable. This vehicle workshop I haven't found yet. I don't know where that is, but according to this we own one. And then the farmhouse. So again, some of these we can get rid of if you wanted to when you start the map, and you know, if you want to set yourself up however you want to do it, you know, you're more than welcome to. That's the whole point of it. So anyway, carrying on. Right, I'm on the train and we are now heading, there we go, along the southern part of the map, field 28, just to our north, and we're going to go over a bridge. And then this one, the detail, we've got a nice loading point there. So if you're doing forestry, if you're loading up your log trailer if you want to. Now I remember when I did the first look on this before, I asked about the question, do you have roundabouts in America, and I got loads and loads of responses back, because that's what I found fascinating with this originally, was you had roundabouts at either end, which I think is just absolutely brilliant. So round the outside we go. The farm we were just at is over in that direction, just there. And one of the things that I really did like about this originally was the quarry, and I did say, wouldn't it be so cool if there were some mods that we could use for the quarry. But it's a really nice feature, such a cool bit to be added on. Now it may well be as part of the contract situation now that you may have transport jobs coming to the quarry, which kind of makes it a little bit more relevant. I like the idea of that. We come past one of the small bits of forestry on the left hand side. Over to our left up on the hill there, that's the ranch. So when we come to sell points, there aren't a huge amount of sell points on the map, I'll be totally honest with you. Let's just stop there. Let's go across one. So we've got the barn, central grain elevator, port grain elevator, ranch, restaurant, sawmill and spinnery. So not a huge amount of them. The railroad silo east and west are just that. They are silos, they're not sell points. So the two that are on the rail link are just silos. They have a combined capacity of 400,000, and we've got our farm capacity of 380,000, of which we do already have some crops in storage. I've got this on easy at the moment. I just plonked it on easy straight away. The prices are incredibly good on easy. So if you set it to normal, obviously that will fluctuate. So we are at the ranch at the moment. That's just up there. Again, I'm not going to go in and show you all of the specific points. Half of the fun of when you get a new map is going and exploring and finding new bits out. But that's where the ranch is, in case you weren't sure or aren't sure. It's in the southwest corner of the map, right down the bottom where we are now. Now, this I believe was kind of an inlet on the original one, or more of a lake. I don't think it went out to the sea. But what they've changed on here, it looks awesome. That really does look great. I like that. Another bridge with another little roundabout, and there's the top end of our farm where we just were. We've got the little, I just think that's brilliant. So there's your diner down to the left hand side. That's one of the sell points down under the bridge there. Around the corner and just down to our left is a sell point there. Just down there. Lovely windmill on the right hand side. The detail on it is brilliant. So this one here is down as Railroad Silo East, one of our storage facilities. We can load our train up and send it off to wherever we're going to be selling things. Another little bit of forest here. Like I say, you can buy these up in little chunks, don't have to buy them up in one huge mass. On our left hand side we've got Patterson Stockyards, our livestock market. Just over there. And then just past it here we've got the port grain elevator. So this is one of the sell points, just there. Carrying on round, that little track that leads up the hill off to our left takes you up to the barn. It's a little bit like the barn on Ravenport, with the machinery and stuff it has up there. We come down to this little gully, kind of canyon-esque type thing. There's a fantastic rickety bridge right here, which just looks brilliant. Like I say, they've done an amazing job on it. I really do like the new and improved version. I think it's brilliant. So we are now coming around the top to the northern part of the map with our other roundabout. That road links north-south right the way down the map. And if I don't know if you remember, but on Woodshire on the original map, just down there, past field 9, was where the cow pasture was, where the kind of dairy area was down there. So that's obviously been moved now. But then again, I say moved, you can take any of those pastures out and you can place them anywhere you want on the map once you own the land. So it really kind of becomes a moot point where they start off. Right, so carrying on around this side, and we're going to be heading down the eastern side of the map. On the original one, you kind of swept over the top here, the high point of the map, then down this side to the railroad, and I think it might have been trees or something. I love the fact that looking over to the left now, it gives you that feeling that you're on very high elevated ground, that it sweeps down the back. Those fields, interestingly though, and I'm not sure, I'm going to just try something. I'm going to jump out, because, oh no, that is the edge. I was going to say, because they've got crops and stuff in them, but if we go into the map, that section over here, those fields don't have any field numbers. If I click on L3 and then the purchase thing, that section is not available for purchase. So that's kind of like when you have those fake field boundaries, so you get that lovely feeling that the map continues on, but you can't actually get to that bit. Just in case you're wondering whether or not you could blag yourself some free fields. Not have to worry about paying for them. Anyway, so continuing on, we're not far done actually around this part of the railroad. Goes up to a peak into towards the kind of middle of the map towards Woodshire, the town itself. But as we come round here, we've got the spinnery sell point. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here because otherwise we're going to get caught on the sides. That's your spinnery round to the right there, which is accessible by road as well. You come up from the town up the hill, and this is where we've got railroad silo west, if I get that right, and there is a lime sell point just past here. But I'm going to stop very, very quickly, turn that off and jump out. There is a lime sell point. Where is the lime sell point? Just here, I believe. There's your lime sell point, buy point, and that's your other train railroad silo. But over here we have got the central grain elevator, so this is another one of your sell points, and these are all up on the hill. Let's go into this map. I think might be a little bit better. Yes, so we start here, and what I like about this map, which I liked on the original, you've got this river that runs along through the middle here, and the road that kind of bifurcates the map. That's your valley across the middle, and it kind of sweeps up that side and over the top and then down towards the coast, and then this side it sweeps up the valley side and then down the other side towards the railway. So you've got this kind of valley in the middle, and you've got Woodshire itself kind of sits here in the valley. So if you come from the main farm down the hill through the valley and up the other side, follow the road up and it will bring you to these sell points where we are now. But it's a really lovely laid out map. I liked it originally. The town itself has changed quite a lot on this one, and we'll get to that in a moment. So back to the train. Actually, I don't need to go back to the train, do I? I'm just thinking, because as we go around there, just there is field 28, which is where we started. So we have actually pretty much done an entire loop. Right, I'm going to whiz back to the farm, grab a tractor, and I'm going to go around and do the bits on the inside of the map that I said I was going to do. This is a lovely map. Really, really well done. Oh, actually, yeah, before I forget, there's no dairy. There's no dairy on this map, but all of the sell points take milk. So whilst there's no specific dairy to go to, they will all take milk, so no worries there. I love the fact you've got these little, don't think I get up on there, yeah, deck chair up on there, do a bit of sunbathing, enjoy the good weather. Tidal View Motel. If you can see the tide from here, then you're in serious trouble. That should say Tidal Wave View, shouldn't it? Surely if you can see the tide from there, then something's gone horribly wrong. Cash point, just in case you need it. So I am back at the main farm. I'm going to grab the JCB. And what we're going to do is come out of the yard. Actually, you can get out of the yard this way at the bottom. There's various different ways of getting out of this yard, actually. But what I do like is this little one here. you go out through the barn. I think that's so cool. I don't know why. It's one of those little things, simple things, you know, but it's a nice little touch. I just think it's really cool. Right, we're going to head down the road, like I say, down towards the valley, across the kind of middle section, and then we're going to take a left, I think, here, I think. We've got a scrapyard just on the right. As we go there, there's a scrapyard. So there's your scrapyard, like, you know, every map should have a scrapyard. And we're going to trundle along here a little bit. I think I might have gone the wrong way. So we'll cut down through here. Another little bit of woodland again, available for purchase, should you wish. And then we're going to head down here. Which brings us to the other part of our farm, because it's kind of separated. Now I'm pretty sure in the original Woodshire, this was where you started, up on this little hillside here. So you see what I mean about the valley sweeping down into the middle and then back up the other side with the forest over there. If we come into our yard here, again, loads of different barns and things available, and this is where kind of the rest of the machinery is. In this little barn here, we've got our fertiliser spreader and our water container. Just to point out, the water container can fill up from this water source here, which is free. I did also try it earlier down in the river that runs along the bottom, and it fills up from the river as well, also for free, so if you should need to. So then if we carry along here, we've got the bison tucked away very nicely there, and over this side we've got our trailers. We've got our stepper log trailer, the case 7250, our fertiliser sprayer, and ploughs and cultivators and various other bits and implements, and then it kind of sweeps down the hill a bit further. Again, kind of like a terraced effect as you come down, and this is where our horse paddock is, just here. And field 2, actually we just drove past field 2 that we own. And if we look over this way, you've got field 1 just there, right, just there. Just past that is field 6, which is the other field we own. And like I say, there's a few little grass ones dotted around as well. If we come up around here, that's field 2, so we own that one. Just around the back here, we've got our small sheep pasture enclosure. That's where your sheep wool pallets will come. Sheep wool pallets? Wool pallets. And this is where you can directly purchase or load or unload your sheep. And around the other side is where your feed troughs are going to be. Again, that's if you decide to keep it and keep it here. You might decide to put it somewhere else entirely, and that, of course, is your prerogative. So what we're going to do from here is head up towards the BGA. Which way should I go from here? So we are facing north. So we come out of the yard here and up this little track. And I do like all these little tracks, again, that kind of spider out across the map all over the place. And another little bit of forest on our right hand side. There is no shortage of forestry, but then there's plenty of arable, so it's kind of something for everyone. And I'm pretty sure I said that the first time I looked around this. I like the way it sweeps around, the undulations on the map, in case you're doing MrSealyp bingo. So we've got EG, miles, heat and energy. This is your BGA. Now, as with all BGAs in game, you need to own this to be able to use it. It's not, whoops, wrong one. It's not mega expensive, if I recall correctly. I say not mega expensive. It's 227,000, so not horrendously expensive to buy the BGA. But what I do like, and I really do like these, is a tippable kind of sell point in your BGA, so you can tip trailers into there. You haven't got to worry about anaerobic digesters and wheel loaders and buckets and all that kind of thing. You can tip directly into there. I have tested that and it does work. And what I also like is round the side here, on a lot of the maps you've got these round kind of domes, and one of them is normally your digestate tank. And originally in game you kind of go up the steps, however there'd be a little bit, well, some of them in game have got pipes all over the place, and you're never quite sure which one is the one for digestate, but they've clearly marked it. It's right here, directly under that, that's your pipe for digestate. So if you do sell anything here and the byproduct is digestate, that's where you're going to come and collect it from. Just there. So what we're going to do now is have a bit of a sweep through. See, this has changed dramatically, because I know on the original one it kind of had a two-tiered effect to it, and I remember mentioning that before. I loved the way it was kind of done. So anyway, that's your BGA. We're going to sweep round the corner and go through the woodland. this way. So this is the largest bit of woodland on the map, and it is split into sections, so like I say, you can just buy whatever bits you need. I like the fact you've got a mix of fir and pine. Which one am I going to go this way, I think. The views out across the landscape, the countryside, are great. That's when you obviously can see them through the trees. They are, I promise you they are. If you wander out and have a look through the trees, they look fantastic. Doesn't really help very much, does it? Anyway, we're going to come up to, there should be a little clearing, if my map reading is correct. There's a little clearing on the left hand side here, and we went past this with the train. Just over the other side of this clearing is the rickety bridge we went under, which is just here. So I should really take my time over this, for fear of crashing through onto the railroad beneath. And this takes you to the barn, which is what I mentioned before. So if you're selling of bales, etc., if you want to sell them here and not the BJ, it is just here. So we are now kind of really, yeah, I suppose the northern point of the map really, until you get up to the railroad and that roundabout there. So we're on the northern part of the map, just up here. So we've come from the second farm up to the biogas plant, followed this track up, and we're at the barn here. We're going to whiz back down and go through this forest here to the shop. There's a petrol station, sawmill, and we should be pretty much, I say should be pretty much there. Just enjoying the scenery as we go kind of thing. I'm going to very quickly jump out to show you what I mean. I kind of said it earlier, and you know it seems a bit ridiculous, but like I say, you come out through the trees. It looks brilliant. It really, really is nice. Really well done. What I'm going to do, actually, thinking about it, I'm not going to go up through the other forest because you know it's a forest. It's like this one, and that sweeps up the other side of the valley and over the top. What we're going to do now is actually run along the valley floor next to the river. We'll go to the shop. We'll do the fuel station, gas station, petrol station, however you want to describe it. It's entirely up to you. So this is the road that runs north-south, the one that I said bifurcates the map pretty much, and the river is to the right hand side just there. Right, so on the left this is where the old dairy cow sheds used to be. It's a nice, like I said, there's little details all over the place with the little ponds and bits of river, and there are little barns dotted around over the place. What I liked about this originally was one, the amount of forestry, because I was kind of into my forestry at the time, but these tracks that lead up the hill, if I remember correctly, one of these had a load of building work going on before, and a lot of the sell points originally were right in the middle of the town. The spinnery and stuff like that were all in the middle here, but they're not now. So this, coming in this side, is Carlos Reliable Motors. So if you're purchasing needs here, or you can do it from your laptop, tablet, wherever you want, but just there. And then this side, just over here, is where you can do your customization, repair, that kind of stuff, if you're not doing it at your workshop yourself. And there's a big old open area here. Now what I'm going to do very quickly, I'm going to try something. I'm going to go into this menu, and one of these, I think it might be that one. Right, there's the tractor. I'm going to press reset because I'm curious to see. There you go. So if for any chance, any reason, or you happen to drop your tractor into a river or roll it over and you can't get it back out again, the respawn point is back here at the store, not at your farm. You know, there is a brilliant road actually that runs off up the hillside and kind of snakes its way up to the top of the hill through the woodland that way. But again, I'll leave that for you to find. There's, you know, I really can't show everything. Look at that again, for what a view. The way the valley sweeps up the other side. That's, so we come round on ourselves now, and that's the secondary kind of farm the one that's got the sheep and the horse paddock. So we're going to follow this now, continue along. We should come to the fuel station and then the sawmill. One thing I am gutted about, I really am. I know it's a little thing, it's silly, but on the left hand side, that mound there was what used to have the Woodshire sign. They had a big old Woodshire sign on there made out of wood, and I thought it was brilliant. So, following this road here, Route 242 to Maplefield and Goldcrest Valley. The river kind of continuing on the right hand side. There's your gas station on the left hand side. And then we'll come along the bottom here. And we should get to sawmill. Again, more forests. No shortage of forestry. Whoop, careful. Careful, careful. And here on the left is our sawmill. Again, it's one of those ones. I know I keep saying I like the fact, and that's good. If I was saying, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, that would be a bad thing. The fact that you've got a lot of woodland right here that runs along kind of the spine this side, and the fact that the sawmill's right on top of it, I think that's brilliant. The actual sell point for wood, weirdly, the symbol shows if you get to about here is what it says for sawmill, and I think that's just kind of the respawn point. If you want to travel directly here, the actual sell point for wood is round all the way around here. I would have been quicker if I'd gone the other way actually, but it doesn't matter. Is round here. So here, if I go over to it, that's where you sell your wood from. And just over here we've got some piles of wood chips. There's another hazard marked little area, which is where you sell your wood chips from, which is just here, or to, not from, but anyway, just here. So that's the sawmill, and we pretty much covered everything. The one thing I haven't found is that little workshop, and I'm not too sure where it is. It says we own it, but I haven't come across it. So if you find it lurking somewhere in the woodland, I don't know where it might be. It's very peculiar, but it must be there somewhere. But that's it. That's kind of, I know it's a kind of whiz round. These first looks generally are. Because otherwise they end up being 2-3 hours long and we can't fit everything into them. Try and show you the main points, the sell points, where your farm stuff is. Now obviously that's if you start on new farmer. If you start on farm manager or start from scratch, you won't have any of those. You'll have some of the buildings and barns, but you won't have the animal enclosures, you won't have the farmhouse, and you won't have obviously all of the equipment. So that's something to bear in mind if you're going to start on one of those other modes. That said, I know I have found in the past that when I've said that on a first look map tour, then people have commented to say, well actually I put it onto farm manager and I still started with everything. So you shouldn't do, is what I will say. It's the best way of putting it. And there we go, that's it. I should have turned left at the previous one, but we'll go left here and take us up to our other farm. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. If you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.